Hello everyone, my name is Zelda Kelly. I'm with PsychicSecrets.com, and this is it. This is another Dark Tales with Zelda. Oh, we have a lot of them, and I know that there are many of you out there that enjoy these. And Candy and Mike, I want to tell you, this one is for you. Today, well, we've got what looks like a real card reading mess on our table, doesn't it? Well, let me tell you this. This was a very intricate, very odd reading that I did. Today, we are using the Tarotdeck deck, and actually this is the deck that I used. I don't use this very often. It is a deck that has 36 cards and written in 6 languages. You can see that there's the English version, and then there are the 6 different languages. Each card is like that. Each card is a cross between a tarot card and the Cartomancy deck, or the regular playing card deck. It's kind of a little cross between both of them. But here's the very interesting thing. You see, with this Tarotdeck deck, and when I wrote things down, it told the story. Now, what happened? Okay. There was a paranormal group that was called in to a couple's home. A couple that was living in this home, that all of a sudden they started having problems and issues and hurt, and they were fighting and going on. There was a lot of anger in this home. That is for sure. A lot of anger. And the home was, I'm going to say there was a lot of falseness regarding that home and the reasons that they wanted to buy that. Of course, we're not going to get into that. But the reason that they wanted to buy that home was not really good reasons. However, they started having this paranormal trouble coming into the home. Lots of trouble, lots of misfortune. And in fact, they even had a small kitchen fire in the home that kept them, well, it was bad news. So there was a lot of sickness in the home. There was a lot of news and messages around this home that it was not very good. Now, the reason I have my pendulum out is because I've asked this pendulum to, let me get it set up here for you, to replicate, because I was talking to this woman and one of the paranormal investigators that was there. I was using this pendulum. So I've asked the pendulum to replicate where I see the problems. Now look, you see it stops right over the home, right over the home. So pendulum, now you're going to see me moving my hand. I cannot move the pendulum in the way that it's moving, okay? So pendulum, show me where there's a problem. You see how it's pulling in another direction here. So we're going to say where this problem is, and it starts swinging over the falseness, over the anger, over, and I keep going here, and you see it's pointing backwards. I don't know if you can see that. It's pointing toward this way. I mean, not backwards. It's pointing toward the other way, and as we get over, you see it almost stops. It almost stops as we get over the home, and then it starts over the anger again. Starts over the falseness. Now, we've got a death card here, and it's really swinging over the death card. And what else do we have beside it? We have a jealousy card, and that is really swinging over the jealousy card. But it keeps leading me back. It keeps leading me back to this, well, you're going to see home, and it stops right over the home, which tells me that is where the problem lies. Okay, so here's the backstory. I'm going to put my pendulum right here. Thank you very much for the use of your power. Okay, so here's the backstory. Before the paranormal group shows up, this couple had problems. They bought this home, they had the problems there. there was sickness, there was this fire, there was jealousy, there were money issues. There definitely was a love issue between the couple. They kept getting random messages from people asking about their home, which I thought was a little weird. Now, the paranormal group that came in verified this for me. It was a man, 2 women. They came in. One was a psychic. There was a paranormal investigator. They had pretty good equipment. Now, this happened not too long ago, so they had it. They were pretty modernized as far as their equipment is concerned. So, as we went on, as we talked, this paranormal, the gentleman gets on the phone. Now, this woman who is frantic because her husband was inflamed that this paranormal group was there. He didn't like it. Why did they call in a paranormal group, you ask? Well, there was knocking in the home. There was apparitions. There was a dark figure that would come down the hall and open a door into a closet. There were all kinds of different things going on. Disembodied voices. Just growling mainly was the biggest thing, growling. So this woman called in a paranormal group, unbeknownst to her husband, and made him angry. As they investigated, they decided to call me during the investigation. The uncanny facts started to unfold because while we were talking, there was a door that opened while they were talking to me. Just a closet doorway. They went and looked in the closet, and there was a mirror. Now, this mirror was, I would say about the size of a mirror that you could hang on the wall, look into. It wasn't big, but it wasn't a small, compact mirror. It was a normal size mirror that you would hang on the wall to check yourself as you leave the house or whatever the case may be. This mirror was there. Now, it was obvious that this mirror was old. And as soon as the one lady touched the mirror, the side of it cracked. Just the side of the mirror cracked. That indicated that there was a problem. Why was there a problem? Because this mirror, from what I understand, the gentleman, the husband, bought from a yard sale. And the information that he got, he just thought it was really cool, was that someone had used it in a ritual as a portal to bring something through. And obviously what happens during those times, people forget when they open it, they have to close it. So this man bought this mirror at a garage sale, yard sale, evidently that was used in this situation, and the portal was not closed. That was scary because things had been coming in. So here's the weird thing. Okay? While I was talking to them, and here, I'll show you. Just give me a second. I'm going to show you what I mean. While I was talking to them, because I always use a Bluetooth, just like this, something similar. Now, this was not the one. I always use a Bluetooth on my calls, so that way my hands are free so I can shuffle the cards, use the pendulum, whatever I need to do. I started hearing growling coming through my Bluetooth. They did not hear it on the call. They were actually recording the call. And later on, they did send the call over to our customer service line at the psychic line. And you did not hear the growling. All you could hear me saying is, I'm hearing growling. And you could hear some staticky type noise, but it wasn't any growling or anything. So it was coming through on my end. So I knew I had to be on my toes. So what happened? The husband had returned home. They found the paranormal group there. He was angry. And you could see this represents the husband. This was the marriage. And this right here, this Ace of Spades, represents loss, represents unfortunate, timely events. It's not a good card. That husband asked the wife, whom I was on the call with at the time, for a divorce. You could hear her screaming, him screaming. Everyone was trying to calm down the situation, but it all had to do with this mirror. This husband was so upset that he asked her for this divorce, like I said, and he actually left the house. Now, this 9 of Hearts, this usually tells me that this is a good situation. It's a heart's desire. It's the yes card. But when it is situated between 2 not so good cards or negative, and we have the Ace of Spades here, this meaning of this particular card changes. It changes from being a very positive and loving card to a very doubtful card, where it says, be careful of someone playing mental games. Be careful of someone bringing something to the table that they shouldn't, meaning secrets, meaning keeping things from the relationship. Also, it means, well, that they're not so forthright, that they may not be telling the truth. And this right here is the case. So the story was that he bought this mirror at a garage sale. This mirror caused them marital problems. It caused jealousy. It caused financial problems. It caused a lot of misfortune. But as it turns out, at night, while the wife was asleep, this gentleman was trying to use the mirror to open this portal. We believe that the gentleman had some type of attachment going on in the home, and that this was a very serious portal, or whatever entity that came through was, well, it's not going to be good. Anything like that, any time like that. At one time, he hung the mirror up in their living room. But the unfortunate thing, it was across the room from another mirror. They told me, the paranormal group said that this other mirror was located just not directly across, but a little off to the side. Doesn't matter. That created a vortex in their home. A vortex where when they walked through, they could feel an energy change, or this particular mirror that this man had bought at the garage sale used this other mirror as a jumping start, a vortex, so they could jump in and out where they needed to. This is serious stuff. I would not play with it. That is a warning. Don't hang mirrors across from each other. That will not turn out very well. In the end, the paranormal group knew that something was going on, and the husband actually had come back to the house after he left in a huff at the screaming match, and they tried to work things out. He was angry, but he tried to make sure that he understood what was going on, and he had kept this secret right here. He kept this secret, this falseness from his wife about the mirror for a long time. We knew there was a problem. We knew that there was an upset. And before long, our call was about to end, and the paranormal group said that they would take care of it. Later on, about a week later, they called me and said that the husband, in his, I'm going to say, he was trying to really prove a point. He hung the mirror in the living room again, across from this other mirror. They had another house fire a day later. They lost a lot of their things in this house fire. It was not caused by anything that the fire department or anyone could find, except they knew that the mirrors were hung across from each other. They were lucky to escape with their own lives. They got just a few things, and they got their cat, and they ran out, and that was it. So this mirror thing is pretty scary, but I'll tell you, this paranormal group was shaken because of the energy in this house. They tried to ground themselves. They tried to work through this whole thing and work with these two very, very emotional people, it was very different. I'd often hoped that they called me back and told me what happened to them ultimately. They did say that they felt that they were headed to divorce court, and that's very unfortunate that that would happen. But I wanted to share that with you. I think the most chilling thing that came out of this for me was the fact that I had this growling on my end, and it wasn't like an animal. It was a guttural, throaty growl that was very threatening. Of course, you know me. I'm not very easily threatened by anything like that, but just wanted to share this story with you. I thought it was very interesting, and I appreciate you being here. And we never know what happened, but the moral of the story is don't be hanging mirrors across from each other. You'll open that portal, and it may never, ever close. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Dark Tales of Zelda. I'll have more for you very soon. I got a whole book of them. So if you like this sort of thing, please step back and I'll definitely make more for you. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And hey, thanks, Candy and Mike. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.